The big stories we're watching for you, of course, this Tuesday is unfolding in Bloemfontein. The memorial service for 3 constables whose bodies were found at the Hennops River days after they were reported missing is expected at the Bobbies Park venue in Bloemfontein. These are live visuals for you with the official service set to kick off at midday. The SABC News team is there for you watching the story from a number of angles, and joining us now is our reporter Kamogelo, Seekoei, who has spent the morning speaking to some of the families who are present there and is now, of course, at the venue itself. And Kamogelo, if you're able to hear us, take us through perhaps what you're able to glean from these families in the lead up to their being there. Okay, we'll try to connect to Kamogelo in just a while, but once again, you can see final touches being put in place there. The keynote address will be delivered by Premier Makwin Letsoa-Mate, who has spoken earlier on about just how difficult this journey has been from the moment the officers were said to be missing till that devastating find in the Hennops River. All right, Kamogelo, let's bring you back in. Our reporter Kamogelo Seekoei, who is part of the SABC News team watching the story from a number of vantage points. And Kamogelo, you spent the morning with these families, understandably quite a difficult time for them today.
Indeed, Ayanda, the running sentiment within the families has been that of gratitude, as you might have heard this morning when we spoke to the Senoge family as well as the Base family. They really do give credit to the South African Police Service regarding the way that the investigation was conducted, although they did allude to the fact that they still have questions regarding some of the details of how they ended up in the Hennops River and the vehicle. They still want some details to be explained to them by the police service in South Africa. But I'm standing here with the Vice President of SAPU here, who is going to talk to us about what exactly has been the mood when it comes to this particular incident. These were your members. How are other members of SAPU coping following the incidents of the missing cops?
Good morning and morning to your viewers. Look, it's a sad day. It's been difficult for us as a union, South African Policing Union. It's been difficult for our members, but it also it's been difficult for SAPS at large. You would imagine that realizing that we have lost 3 of our members and they were nowhere to be found, we are here today to give a support to the family, because at least there is a part of a closure. They got the bodies, they will be able to bury their loved ones. But the morale was very bad for us, because we are losing most members in SAPS as a result of the police killing, as a result of suicide, as a result of mental wellness. So every time one of our members is missing or get killed, it reflects back to what we are going through on a daily basis as functional members of the South African Police Service. So indeed, our members were asking a question again and again. But at least on this matter, we now have answers as to what, not really what happened, but at least we know where we can bury the body, where we can take these bodies, where we can support the family now. And we are here as the South African Policing Union to support this family, to make sure that we give them all the moral support, we give them all the necessary support that we can assist to all our members who passed on.
Now, coming to the investigation, obviously when news broke that there were 3 missing constables, the police went all out to find out what was happening. But families have been talking about questions that they have with regard to some of the details of the investigation, particularly how the 3 constables ended up in the Hennops River. As a union, are you satisfied with the way that the investigation was conducted?
Look, the most important thing from us as a union is that we engage the management of SAPS. Firstly, you need to understand that the investigating officers have an obligation to engage the family, either our members of any family or victim. So we have received the information that they are in contact with the families to give them what really transpired. We know that there are a lot of speculation, but from our side, we are waiting for the outcome of the investigation, right from the post-mortem, the mortuary, the investigation from the forensic in terms of what transpired, all investigation including what transpired with the signal on the cell phone or the vehicles. But from where we are seated, the sub-management have engaged the families. They are informing them. We saw the necessary support they gave right from the onset. They went to the scene. They were with the family at the scene. And I think that is the most important thing, where we see management of SAP being with the family all the way to make sure that they get answers to what really transpired. So we are satisfied with the investigation so far with what we are receiving. But of course, the whole comprehensive investigation needs to be conducted before they can come to a particular decision.
You spoke about, the morale being low within the union, but it's not necessarily a new thing. You're speaking about, police suicides and mental health issues within the police service. In these instances, how would you like the community to support the police? Because in this particular case, we saw how the residents of Bloemfontein also came and rallied around the three families and prayed for them, prayed with them, and just gave them support all round.
We really appreciate the support that we saw from the communities at large, and not only in Bloemfontein, not only in Free State. We have seen it across the country where even religious community, traditional leaders were with us during the search of these members. But we would like to urge the community to extend this, particularly when most or some of our members have been killed. We are under attack as members of the police. Our members are being killed on a daily basis. And we would like the support from the communities that even when one of our members is being killed, we see the same or similar support or the prayers or anything that they can show that once you attack members of the police, you are literally taking away those who are your protectors. And really, indeed, with these three members, we've seen that support, and we really wish that even in future, when one of our own is being killed or that in line of duty, we see the same support.
Thank you so much for your time. That was Vice President of the South African Policing Service, Peter Nzime, just talking to us there about how the morale has been within the union and what kind of support that the union is going to be giving to the families, even beyond the funerals that are set to take place from Thursday up until Saturday.